Hello, I am Kirandeep Clare and my group members are Haley McFall and Jasmine Sadadine. Our project is about the link between childhood asthma and vegetation in the San Joaquin Valley. The San Joaquin Valley has been ranked as the worst air quality in California, and that is a major reason behind the many cases of asthma. We are aware from a previous study that the relationship between two types of tree coverage, forests and shrubs, is associated with overall better human health. We are also aware that trees can remove air pollutants, specifically ozone and nitrogen dioxide. With that, we also consider how San Joaquin Valley is majority of agricultural coverage, which adds an additional pollutant of pollen to factor in. The gap that we want to fill is what type of vegetation is linked to asthma. We want to know more about the vegetation that exists in the San Joaquin Valley. Our respiratory data is collected from the Asthma CHHS database. This graphic is also from there, and it is a California map from 2017 that divides it by county for emergency department visits due to asthma per 10,000 children. There's a color-coded legend on the right-hand side. The darker blue represents higher numbers, and towards the center of the map, there is that darker blue colors for the Madera and Fresno counties.
And here we have our additional data from air quality in Fresno. This chart represents data collected from daily levels in Fresno. We have the air quality index in Fresno, the NO2 levels, and the O3 levels. Furthermore, we really would like to focus on expanding our gap, which is determining if asthma is reducible by planting forest and shrub coverage to remove air pollutants. Our research question is, what specific tree coverage has an effect on childhood asthma visits within the San Joaquin Valley? However, we have some supporting questions that we would like to answer, which are, how is the air quality and pollutant concentration linked? Which type of vegetation removes O3 and NO2, and what type of vegetation is abundant in the San Joaquin Valley? We hypothesize that the removal of air pollutants will help to decrease the amount of hospitalizations due to asthma in children. And our alternative hypothesis is if a specific tree can remove NO2 and O3 from the San Joaquin Valley air, then the number of asthma cases will be reduced in children and adolescents.
From there, we have some questions to answer through our data. To begin, we have some respiratory data that link the air quality and the pollutant concentration to the amount of asthma visits we have in the San Joaquin Valley. Due to the poor air quality, we see heightened levels of asthma visits in our area. Some air quality data we used was to find that the ozone and the nitrogen dioxide are the most prevalent stimulants in asthma cases. And we also know that the forest and shrub coverage is the most influential tree coverage in removing the ozone and nitrogen dioxide from our air. But however, the San Joaquin Valley is majority agricultural tree coverage, which isn't even reducing the pollutants, it's in turn adding pollen to the mix, which is yet another stimulant for asthma. And we actually got that from the natural vegetation of the San Joaquin Valley, as you see here, and that bar graph down at the bottom right shows that the agricultural tree coverage is the most abundant tree coverage in the San Joaquin Valley. We also have some steps in our methodology that we're going to use to prove our hypothesis. So to begin, we found levels of the ozone and nitrogen dioxide in our area, which Jasmine referenced in slide 3. These pollutants are what causes asthma within children. And we also identified the types of trees that remove those pollutants, which is that forest and shrub coverage. And because we know that those remove pollutants, and the San Joaquin Valley doesn't have those pollutant removers, we do need to plant those in order to compare the measurements of the O3 and the NO2. So after we plant those, we're also going to take new measurements of the asthma rates in those areas and see that they decrease. And if you remember going back, we did predict in our hypothesis that when we add forest and shrub coverage, the asthma rates are actually going to decrease in our area.
And finally, we have our references that include our 3 journal articles and 2 databases. Thank you.